I was traveling in one of the Middle Eastern countries a long time back, and I happened to cross the border. And when I was coming back, I wanted to cross back into the country that I had left from. And it was the time of Jumu'ah, and they told me, you have a Zimbabwean passport, you actually need a visa to go in. And I told him, but hang on, I was here about 10 days back when I was crossing, and no one told me this. I crossed and there was no visa. He said, no, the law has just changed 2 days ago. Now I have a flight to catch, and I'm making dua to Allah, and I say, Ya Allah, help me. Ya Allah, I'm in need. Help me, Ya Allah. What am I going to do? I've got a flight to catch, and I need to return home. And so it was the time of Jumu'ah, and the adhan went. And mashallah, there was a masjid in the border post. And so I went, I'm making dua to Allah, and I sat down. And the Imam spoke about, now this is called the help of Allah. Not from me, nothing at all. The Imam was speaking about helping people in desperation, helping people in need, and how Allah will assist you if you assist someone who's desperate, who's in need. And guess what? There was a man next to me who greeted me, and I greeted him back. And then I greeted him immediately after the talk. And I nodded my head, smiled at him and so on, and we started our salah. We were standing in the saf, straightening, the feet, and I started my salah and I ended. And when I finished, I made a dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh Allah, I don't know, it's only you that's going to help. And so what happened is, I came out, I had hope in my heart, but I was also making a plan B, to say, let's go back and we'll do this, we'll change tickets, perhaps leave from another city altogether. And as I went in, I told this brother who was behind the counter that, look, you know what, please, I need your help. He says, only my boss can do it for you. So can I see him? He says, yeah, well, you can, maybe. You can enter that door, and if he's there, you're lucky. So I went by the door, there was someone cleaning. Knocked on the door opened. Who was the boss? The man who sat next to me just the time of the khutbah and salah, and he read right next to me. And guess how I started my story? Assalamu alaikum. You can remember the smile, can't you? So I looked at him and I'm saying to myself, let me try and choose the best way of convincing him such that he will not be able to say no if he has a heart. I said, mashallah, I'm in need. I'm desperately in need. And I'm convinced Allah will send the help. And I hope and I pray that help can come through you at least, so that inshallah, I will be able to at least cross here. He looks at me and he thought for a moment, and I'm quite certain that the words of the Imam were ringing in his head. And then he tells me something. He says, you're right. It's only from Allah, not from me. He wrote in my passport, this man has been given oral permission to enter the country. The Arab nations, some of them, they have this. I don't know about now, but I'm talking of quite a while back. And he wrote it. I went to the front. The man looked at it and smiled. He stamped it and let me cross. As simple as ABC. But my life was coming to an end, basically, if that didn't happen. Not to an end, but what I mean is, it was going to be quite difficult. And then I told myself, I said, this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imagine if we didn't greet. Imagine if I just sat. Imagine if he didn't greet. It was his quality. He was a big boss. I didn't even know. But he greeted, and this is what helped. And I greeted back. And this is why, remember, sometimes we are arrogant. It's shaitan that overtakes us. We are human. We need to check it again. Make sure you remove it. Fight it. Fight it. Be humble. I've seen people with mega wealth, and you'll never pick up that this man has wealth. And I've seen people with next to nothing, and they have their first $1,000, and next thing they feel like, subhanallah, I'm Bill Gates. Allahu Akbar. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us goodness of the dunya as well as goodness of the akhirah.
This story right here is a true story told by Sheikh Abdul Muhsin al-Ahmed. A story about a sister that had so much deen. She was so pious. Oh my God, mashallah. And the story goes like this. He says, after performing Salat al-Maghrib, she put her makeup, wore her beautiful white dress, preparing herself for her wedding party. Then she heard the adhan of Isha, and she realized that she broke her wudu. Then she told her mother, Ummi, I have to go to make wudu and pray Isha. Then her mother, she was shocked and said, are you crazy? The guests are waiting for you to see you. What about your makeup? It will be all washed away by water. I am your mother and I order you not to perform salah right now. Wallahi, I swear by Allah, if you make wudu now, I will be angry at you. Then her daughter replied and said, Wallahi, I swear by Allah, I won't go out from here till I perform my salat Isha. Mother, you must know that there is no obedience to any creature and disobedience to the Creator, which is Allah Azza wa Jal. Then her mother said, what would our guests say about you when you show up in your wedding party without makeup? You won't be beautiful in their eyes, and they will make fun of you. Then the daughter asked with a smile and said, Ummi, are you worried because I won't be beautiful in the eyes of creations? What about my Creator? I am worried because if I miss my salah, I won't be beautiful in His eyes. Then she started to make wudu, and all her makeup was washed away, but she didn't care. Then she began her salah, and at the moment she bowed down to make sujood, oh man, Malik al-Maut came and visited her and took her soul. Malik al-Maut came and took her while she was in sujood. Ya Allah, how beautiful is death. You know, when Allah loves a servant, He beautifies their death. And inshallah, by Allah's will, when this sister be resurrected on the Day of Judgment, she will meet Allah Azza wa Jal while she's in sujood.